And just to let you know, I record this class. So I'm recording right now. I'm recording this video. And let's say, for example, Amy, can I use you example? Just real quick, Amy Mitchell. I'm going to just use you as an example. Let's say Amy is gone. She called and said, "Hey, chef, I'm not going to be here today." And I'm going to say, "Okay, Amy, no worries. Just just email me when you are done watching the video. And I'm going to show you where I'm going to put the videos of the class. You're going to email me when you finish watching the video, and and then I will change your absence to a present. So where if you have to miss a class, you can watch the video and you can get credit for the class. Does that make sense? So you will not get any potentially you will not get any zeros. Okay, you even if you are out sick for today. Let's say you're out sick or whatever else, you potentially could not. You don't have to get a zero. You can watch the video, and you just need to email me or call me or tell me, and I will go and give you attendance for that day. Plus, I will give you a grade for that day. So you're not going to be penalized. Okay. Because honestly, we're trying to make you successful. We're not trying to beat you down. We're trying not to make you fail. We're trying to make you successful. So that's kind of one of the things that I in the school likes to try to do. Let's see. I will get on class around 15 to 20 minutes before class. I will get on here, and I might have my video on, I might not, but I will be on class, and I'll be just doing paperwork, or just sitting here waiting for class to start. But if you ever need me, just say, "Hey, chef," and I'm listening, and I will be there. We will be taking breaks during the class, so just relax. We'll be getting up and moving. And let's see, what else? Any questions so far? Anybody? My name is Chef Cliff. For anybody that just came in, um, and it is now 6:12. Well, I will start sharing the PowerPoint. I'm going to share this PowerPoint. I will send this PowerPoint to you at the end of our class, if you're okay with that. But I'm going to be sharing the screen so you can look at the screen. And let's say if you're having connective issues, I know that some people have issues with that, you can turn off their video. That also helps with the lagging of any if I'm showing a video, sometimes when I'm showing a video, it will lag a little bit. You can just turn off your video camera, and that will help speed it up as well. So please do not ever hesitate to stop me and say, "Hey, chef, I don't understand," or "Hey, how are you doing?" Whatever else. So let's see. I'm going to quickly do attendance. And if I screw up your name, I'm so sorry. But please let me know, and I will not screw it up, hopefully, the next time. Let's see. Okay. So if I call your name, just say here, unmute yourself and say, let's see, Billy? No Billy? Okay, hold on a sec. Kyle? No Kyle, all right. Austin?
Here.
Cool. All right. Courtney? Courtney. Amy, I think I saw you. Or actually, what we're gonna do is we're gonna, instead of me calling names, you're gonna, I'm gonna just call a name and y'all are gonna just tell me about yourself and I'll do my attendance that way. Gary.
Good morning,
Gary?
Chef. Glad to be in this program. I am a recently retired Army vet.
Nice.
26 years, and looking forward to having this piece of paper to go along with all the experience I already have in the industry.
Very nice. Where are you from? Or where are you from for right now? Or where have you?
So right now I'm in Iowa in the Quad Cities, but as an Army brat and served, I'm from everywhere.
Nice, nice.
I
So
never
you're gonna
wrote
be,
anywhere.
are you gonna be 100% online or are you gonna be coming to Austin?
For the beginning, I'm going to be 100% online, and then I'm probably going to come down probably next, after the new year. I'll probably come down for like the last 6 months.
Nice. Very good. Well, welcome. Let's see. Hold on. Let me put that. Melissa.
It's actually Mylissa.
Oh, Maya. Sorry,
Mylissa,
my
yeah.
fault.
I am from Seattle. I live in
Okay.
Austin. I've been there for about 10 years. I was actually the general manager at Moonshine for 10 years, the last 10 years.
Oh, no way. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So I probably been around you probably because I've done some
Probably.
stuff.
I was always there. I'm currently in Colorado with my cousin,
Nice.
but I'll be back in Austin on Friday.
Nice.
So I'm not going to be all online.
Well, welcome. And
Thank you.
I'll probably remember you when I see you in person.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Let's see. Austin?
G'day, Chef. I am originally from Australia. I moved to
Australia.
the States about 12 years ago. I have been working in the industry for about 6 years now, and I wanted to start adventuring into owning my own restaurant, and what it takes to get there.
Nice. Very nice. Well, welcome. Let's see. Dimitri?
Good morning, Chef.
Good morning. How are you today?
Doing pretty good. I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio. I'm back down here near Fort Hood and Harker Heights. I'm medically retired.
Gotcha.
I'm doing this program to follow up my wife. She graduated from the University of Alaska Fairbanks for culinary, and we owned and operated a food truck in Alaska for 2 years from 2017 to 2019. So we're trying to venture into fine dining. So I told her I'd come get some education to go with the experience.
Very cool. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Delmora? Elisa? Yeah, you got it. You just unmuted yourself. Oh, no, wrong one. Sorry. Courtney. Hi. Oh, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Oh, there. Oh, yeah, I can.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Everybody.
Good morning.
I'm Courtney. Of course, I'm from Florida. I'm actually in the medical field. I've always wanted to do culinary, but something always pulls me back to medical somehow. But I finally, taking my little medical scrubs off and venturing into culinary. So
Nice.
I've been interested since I was a freshman in high school, and that was about over 10 years ago. So I'm just proud of doing it.
Nice. Well, welcome.
Oh,
And oh, go ahead. Oh, sorry. Well, welcome. Jonathan? Oh, I can't hear you. You're on mute, I think. Still can't hear you. We'll come back. Dalen.
Me, Dylan.
Yeah, Dylan. Sorry.
My name's Dylan. I'm from Houston. There's nothing really interesting about me. I'm just Dylan. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you live in Houston?
No, I'm in Austin right now.
In
Hopefully
Austin
to go
now?
back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Gary? Is there a Gary? Gary.
Chef, I'm here already. I already introduced myself.
Oh, my bad. I just saw it pop up. Let's see, who else? Who else has not introduced themselves? Unmute yourself and
Does this work?
my Zoom. Oh yeah, there you go.
Does it? I don't know that. What's up? I'm Jonathan, morning chef.
Good
From
morning.
Ann Arbor, Michigan. Been in the industry about 12 years now. Just looking forward to seeing what it takes to become a restaurateur, furthering my experiences and gathering more information or knowledge.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who else has not introduced themselves? Just unmute yourself and go ahead.
Morning, Chef. My name's Alan Vaughn. I'm here in Lago Vista, Texas, and have family of 4, retired, and looking at doing something new. I figure I could watch the Food Network long enough, something I want to aspire to. So look forward to working with everybody.
Nice. Very nice. Who else? Did I?
Hi, I'm Heidi.
Heidi. Hi,
Originally
Heidi.
from California. Also watch a lot of the Food Network, so I feel that. So I just started out in this industry. I'm looking forward to learning more, Chef.
Nice. Well, welcome. Anybody else that I have not talked to?
My name is Marilyn Morris.
Marilyn.
I live in Killeen, Texas. And I have
Where do you live?
Killeen, Texas.
Killeen, okay.
Yeah. And I'm looking
And
to
how many
further my
kids?
career. Right now I'm a team lead at Panera Bread, and I'm looking to venture off and owning my own catering business.
Nice. Well, welcome. Have I hit everybody so far? Everybody? Oh, yeah, go ahead.
My name is Sean. I'm a military veteran, and I just transitioned out of being a business consultant to doing this. It was like a wellness and mindset coach, and I feel like food is kind of medicine and brings people together, and I think society needs that right now. So I was like, you know what? I always wanted to become a chef, and why not just take the plunge instead of just being
That's
a home
awesome.
cook? So I'm excited to be
That's
here.
awesome. Yeah, and that's something I want to I'll talk about real quick is bringing people together. I mean, food is something that brings people together, and it's a very and that's something we're going to be talking about today. And smells and all of that of like pumpkin pie or apple pie. It makes people feel like they were at home and more home stuff. So we're going to be talking all about that today as well. Now, Mr. Walker. Or no, who else is it? Who else just came in? I didn't see who came in. Hold on. Let me get my list of people real quick. Anybody else that did not introduce themselves, please.
Hi, sorry. My Wi-Fi connection didn't let me log in on time, so I've been trying this whole time.
Oh, there you are. Hi.
Hi.
No worries. What's your name? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Jackie. I'm from Houston, but I currently live in Austin. I want to own a cafe one day.
Nice, nice. Very good. Let's see. I think have we hit everybody? Has everybody talked?
Morning, Chef. My name is Guillermo, and I live in El City right now. And I own a mobile food truck and also a catering company. And I'm just really looking forward to learning more about the culinary industry and learning more of the academics parts of it.
Nice. And what kind of food truck are you running right now?
So right now I have a rotisserie food truck, rotisserie chicken, and Venezuelan food as well.
Where is it located?
South Congress right now. We moved locations because we had an accident when all the rain started. It got flooded, so it's right now on maintenance, and yeah, we had to change a few things. So right
Yeah.
now I'm not. Yeah, it's gonna
Okay,
take a bit
cool.
for it to go back to
Yeah,
normal.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, and that's awesome. Well, welcome everybody. This is called Restaurant Operations. So, and we're just gonna kind of get started. Let me share my screen, and I will get started. Share screen. Can everybody see this screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right, and I will be sending you a link for everybody to have this, all the PowerPoints that we are going to be using. So everybody's going to have a link for it. Now, so this is me, Chef Clifton, but I go by Cliff, but Clifton Dickerson. This is my email address and my phone number. So if you want to write down my phone number, here it is. It is area code 512-771-4979. You can call, you can text. The only thing I ask is please make sure you put your name, because I don't know, I don't have your phone numbers plugged into my phone. So I don't know who's going to be calling me, so or texting me. So if you text me saying, "Hey, Chef, I'm not going to be here today," I'm not going to be able to. I'll just say, "Who are you?" So at first, so just make sure you tell me who you are, so I can figure that out, and we can get that. So please don't ever hesitate to call or to text. I will try to reply. Like I had someone calling or texting me last or emailing me or whatever else over the weekend. I respond. I try to respond to all my emails and texts as fast as possible. Okay, so this program is kind of demanding. It's a lot of hard work. Just in general, the restaurant industry is kind of a demanding industry, and we already have people that are in the industry, so that's really good because they're going to be able to kind of talk about also how demanding the industry is, and just the program in general, but just the industry. Your hard work is going to carry you successfully through this program. So just make sure you keep up with your work, guys. I just finished teaching this class, on Friday, another class, and I had 4 or 5 people fail, and it was all only because of just lack of getting their their work done. I mean, they were here, they were sleeping a little bit or not paying attention, and they just didn't get it done. And I had about 4 or 5 people fail this past block. So just make sure you watch out on that. Let's see, remember class participation, or it takes a while to do this and to get it all put together, the class. So just try to give respect and give me, let's talk. The more feedback we have, the better this class is going to be. I've had classes that didn't talk that much, so there wasn't as much communication, as much, I would say, just brainstorming as what we used to have. So just make sure you try to get a little more, get into this class, or try to get into this class. I know it's early, guys. And so stand up, move, drink coffee, do whatever you have to do to just, stay awake and to pay attention, because there is a lot of good information that you're going to be getting from this class. Let's see, understanding the lectures and objectives every day. Let's see, any questions so far? Now I'm going to share my screen in a while when it comes to the dashboard, or what I call the portal, the student portal. And we're going to walk through the student portal so you can kind of understand what needs to happen. And I will do that in just a second. But this is kind of what the student portal looks like, or what I call, or some people call it the dashboard. Okay. And if you've not gotten on there, most of y'all should have been able to get on there. But that is the dashboard, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. Remember, daily grades, or daily participation is about 20%, or I'm sorry, daily participation is very important. Grade. So basically, if you come in, you participate, you're going to get basically 100. Okay, so if you participate, you come in every day, and you're going to get 100. But if you're not participating, I call your name 5 or 6 times, you don't answer me or whatever else, and you don't have your camera on when I ask, that's you're going to get some points taken off. Okay. But I will let you know that whenever that happens. I'm going to just say, hey, or I'll email you and say, hey, you got points taken off because of this, this, and this, or whatever else. So just make sure that you kind of, just pay attention. Okay. And a side note, guys, real quick, I'm getting people, their private chats people are sending me. Unfortunately, I can only do one thing at a time, so I can't read the chat and talk. So I will kind of do a little bit of the reading of the chat and typing in a little bit, and I'll kind of go back and forth. So please, if you're typing, I will respond to it. It'll just take me a few minutes. Let's see, forums. There are forums, okay, and I'm going to just show you. Instead of me trying to describe it, I'm going to just show you. Exit this real quick. I'm going to have to stop sharing and then share again. Give me 1 second. Because I'm going to get on the portal and actually show you. And this is where... All right, so can everybody see where it says dashboard? Yeah?
Yeah.
Thumbs up? Yes. All right, cool. All right, so I'm gonna log in, and mine's gonna look a little different than yours, but I'll switch it so where it'll look like yours. my last class. Okay, so this is what your portal should look like, okay? And let me see. So everybody's been able to, and I'm kind of looking at the screen of photos or videos. If you have been on the portal, please put your thumb up. Yes, everybody been on the portal. Okay, so so everybody kind of has an idea now. Okay, here, ask questions here. You know, if you need any questions, here's the Austin syllabus. So if you want to get the syllabus, you can click on that and it will download the syllabus. And here is the syllabus for you right here. Okay. So that is the syllabus, but you have these kind of section right here, and this is just like videos of people cooking stuff, and the reason why they just put it up there is just so you know, just to give you a little preview of what you're going to be doing later on in your classes. So these are things you will be learning, you know, like the egg rolls or mushrooms or grilled steak or sushi, rice or whatever else. All of that you're going to be doing in classes after this class. But that's kind of it. And then here is the link. Right here is the link to get onto the Zoom. So if you click on this link right here, that will get you to where we are right now. Okay. Now, here is week 1. Okay. Or this is week 1 right here. Or wait, is this y'all? Yeah. All right. And then, so you have these things right here. Do you see all of these? These are called modules. These modules have to be done. Okay. Now, they are not, this is something we don't do during class. Okay. I go and lecture and we talk about and we do a lot of the project, but these modules, these things right here, and I'm gonna click on them, but these are some things that need to be done when you're not, you know, out of class while you're doing your homework or whatever else. But I'm going to show you, and it is very important that you do it because every time you click on these modules, it will it automatically puts a check mark in my grade book. So where it tells me that, hey, you opened it up and you looked at it or you did that section. So that's very important. If you don't click any of these, you are going to get zeros and you're going to have lots of zeros in the grade book. So you have to, it's like a check grade, if you will. I mean, does everybody kind of understand what a check grade is? If you click on something, it will automatically give you a kind of a grade or populate a grade. So it's very important. And that is something that I tried to explain to my students the last block, our last 6 weeks. And that's one of the reasons why I had so many people, like about 4 people fail, is because they didn't go through these modules every single week. So there is a check your knowledge. A check your knowledge is kind of a little quiz. All of these things, I have opened it up so where you can do it as many attempts as possible. Like this check your knowledge is a quiz. And it's going to ask questions. So you've got to kind of click on certain things, but it's going to ask you questions and you're going to need to answer those questions. Okay. It is very, very important to get on these. Like, let's click on hiring. Okay, here is hiring. Here's a module for hiring, and kind of goes in and talks. This is, I'm not going to go over this little bit, but I'm going to go over all the PowerPoints and we're going to discuss it, but I'm not going to read verbatim this sheet right here, but you need to at least click on it so where I can get a, you can get a grade. Does everybody follow that? That it's
Yeah.
very highly, very, very important to just to click on all of these things.
Yeah, Chef,
Okay.
what's your expectation of when that's due for each week? Is it due on the Monday when we start or by the Friday of that week?
Okay, here, let me pull up my, honestly, I would like it at least every Friday. By the end of Friday, I would like it all complete. And hold on a second. This is my wrong class. Hold on one second. Let me move it. So every Friday would be ideal for me to have it every Friday, or to be able to look at it, because I can close out the week. So what I'm going to do is, let me show you the grade book real quick. Now, so hold on. So here is the grade book for everybody. Okay, so and this will be the only time I show it because of it has no grades on it right now. But just because of FERPA violations and all of that sort of stuff. But this is something that you won't see again. But so every day, this is a daily grade. So like today, you'll get, I will put in, if you were here, you participated, you get 100. So this will be populated right in here. And these are all the day, basically 1 through 29. Okay. And here are all the, like the discussion, or here, hold on. Oh, someone already did a check your knowledge. So you can see check your knowledge. Do you see that right here where it says check your knowledge? Do you see someone already has done it, or a couple of people? Let's say Gary. Is Gary in here? Yeah, Gary, you did
Yes,
it
Chef.
already.
Yes,
It looks
Chef.
like. So, so it looks like. So, do you see how Gary has a 10 on there, a grade already? That's 100 for him. So, you can do those anytime. I've opened them all up. So I mean, if you want to do all the check your knowledges for the whole 6 weeks, go for it. Right now, if you want to do it, do it. If you want to go through all the modules, if you're just sitting around and you want to go through all those modules in one day, you can do it it can be taken care of. But here are all the check your knowledges, okay? And let me show you the modules. So these are all the modules right here. Okay, so you need to make sure, so the menu psychology or the menu pricing and all of that sort of stuff. So all these modules have grades to it. So it is very important, and I can't stress it enough, to go through and click everything that you see on the portal and go through everything that you possibly can, because that will help you out in your grade. I promise you. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing this now and go back to the PowerPoint. And now I can see everybody's face. But does everybody understand kind of, it's important to click on that on all of those modules just because of grades. It's all because of grades, and I don't want anybody to fail. So let's see, let me get back to my PowerPoint. And actually, let's see. And guys, please stop me, interrupt me. I don't care. You can unmute yourself. You can, whatever, if you have any questions or if you have anything you want to ask or anything like that. All right. So, and I do the closed captioning can y'all see that on here? The closed caption. All right. So if you can't hear it, you can always read it. So anyway, let's see, final grades. Or I just want you to get all of those things done at least weekly. So I'm going to look at it. And then on Friday, I'm going to try to give y'all probably about 5, 10, or I would say 15 or 20 minutes, some time to work on any of that if you have not gotten it done, just so you can just get it done. Because I would much rather you do it during class time or whatever else. If I just want you to get it done. And if I have you here, you're probably going to do it. So I try to get it done because again, don't like having zeros. I don't like it at all. So check your knowledge. Here it is. I already kind of talked about it, but you can kind of see it's 32% of your final grade. All of those check your knowledges, the homework, the readings, all of that. So it is a pretty good chunk of your grade. So very important. The menu analysis assignments, those are the ones that I was kind of talking about. And that's like those modules. That's 8% of your final grade. Very important that you get those done as well. And those are just modules and you'll kind of get to understand it a little bit more when we get into this class. You have a final project or a final exam or a final project and a final exam, but your final exam is, it's on the portal. I can't remember how many questions it is. I think it's like 20 questions, I believe. But you get 2 attempts, so you get the highest grade. So again, we're not trying to fail you. We're trying to get you to understand it and to get it from your short-term memory into your long-term memory. And that's the most important. And that's all about repetition. So we're just going to be going over and over all of this stuff. Your final project is a big project. It is a big thing. And we're going to actually start talking about it probably in the next couple of days. It is starting our process with it. Probably on Friday, part of your homework is coming up with a restaurant name and in a mission statement. You're going to be coming up and basically hypothetically building a restaurant. You're going to kind of put together a menu. We're going to cost out a menu. Make sure that we are making money, because there are restaurants all the time failing because they are not making money, correct? Just how many restaurants have you seen just right now during the COVID times, have shut down? I know quite a few restaurants in the Austin area have shut down. So you've got to understand how to make the money. Okay. So, and that's kind of what we're going to be doing. And we're going to be talking about how to cost out recipes, how to, order equipment, all of those things. So that's part of the project. And that is it on when it kind of a synopsis of the class, talking about me. Are there any questions so far before we kind of get into and we're probably going to take a break before we get into the meat and potatoes, so everybody kind of ready to get started. But any questions so far? No? All right. Do y'all want to take like a 5-6 minute break just to stretch your legs so you can get ready? Because we're going to go for about 30 to 45 minute stint of me talking. So let's take, do y'all want to take a 5-minute break?
Yeah, sounds good.
Sounds good.
All right, cool. And guys, if you need to take a break or if you need to go to the bathroom or whatever else during my lecture, go. You don't need to ask me. You don't need to say, "Hey, chef, I gotta go to the bathroom" or whatever else. Just go. But just do me a favor. The people that have AirPods or earpods or like wireless devices, make sure you take those off and put them on your desk before you go into the bathroom. Okay. I don't like to hear people peeing. So just do that for me. All right. Thank you. And we'll see you in what time is it right now? Let me see. Or do you want to? How about? Do you want 7 o'clock? That's in 10 minutes from now. Do you want 7 o'clock? Let's do 7
that
o'clock.
works.
All right. Cool.
That works.
7 o'clock. All right. Give me 1 second and I'll share my screen. Share screen. All right. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to share this link with you at the end of our class, but I'm going to show you on, y'all are going to get a link for all of these PowerPoints right here. And these are the PowerPoints for the whole 6 weeks. So let's say, for example, you want to, I don't know, go ahead of your, go ahead and look at other stuff. You can go ahead and be able to access all of the PowerPoints. So please watch your email. Most important thing is that you use your school email when you log in. Now, who has had problems with their school email? Are y'all okay with your school email? Everybody understand it? Everybody getting the emails and checking them. Make sure you check them. It is very important, especially closer to the end of the block, because they're going to be communicating like Chef Robin or one of the administrators are going to be trying to get a hold of you to find out if you want to do 100% online, if you want to do hybrid, and they're going to be asking you lots of questions. So it's very important that you use your student email. And the reason why is to access all of these all of the PowerPoints that I have, you have to be using your school email, because I'm going to be forwarding it to your school email. So it's important you open it up through your email, your school email. So anyway, y'all are going to be getting all the PowerPoints and all of that set up for you. So let's get this party started. Other than that, are there any questions, problems, or concerns, anything that you want to ask? Let's say, for example, someone was in California. Who is someone in California right now? I know I had one person that is dropping this class or going to a different time frame, because California, I mean, they would have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to be on class. So, if you need to change your time frame, I will have a list of names and phone numbers for you for your, say, student loans or whatever else. I will have a list of names and I will send you that as well through your email. So if you have any questions or you need to talk to some administrator, or let's say your uniform is not there, you can communicate with the people that are sending your uniforms. So anyway, with that, let's get this pod started. All right. So today's objectives, setting expectations, course overview, identifying opportunities. Let's see, class expectations. This is 135. Be at least in class for about, before class, oh, sorry, this is from my last instructor. I didn't take off his name, but Chef Pablo. But you need to try to get on at least 10 minutes before class, just so where, because I try to get attendance started, get things going, but, just try to get here on time. No piercings, if you have it, like on your face or anything that I can't see, I'm cool with. Be in uniform. If you don't have a chef's jacket, just be properly dressed, plain and simple. Don't look like you just rolled out of bed with your chef's jacket. It's all wrinkled and all of that. Just make yourself look professional. Hats, all of that. I'm okay with you wearing, like, I don't know, someone wanted to wear like a little, I don't know, do-rag or like a I don't know, something on their head. That's fine as long as it's not as long as it's appropriate. Just keep it appropriate. Let's see.
Do we have to wear the school provided chef jacket, or can we wear any of our others chef jackets?
I'm okay with you wearing any other ones for right now. But if you're on ground, you're gonna, like, once you get in the cooking, you need to wear the school jacket. Does that answer your question? All right.
That does. Thank you. I understand, Chef.
Okay, so the course objectives, you're going to learn food service skills, training and how to train employees. Now, who was the person that was at Moon Tower?
Moonshine, it's me.
Or Moonshine, I'm sorry. Who was that, Melissa?
Yeah.
And that's something I'm probably going to be getting you to help talk about is, just I know y'all's facility pretty well, and one of the owners, and
which owner do you know? Is it Chuck?
I can't remember the guy's name. Yes.
Chuck. Yeah, Chuck Smith.
Chuck. Yeah. But anyway, it's one of those where I'm going to be using you as a hopefully, because you worked at what part of it? Were you doing the front?
I was, front of the house general manager.
Front general manager. So you know how how to deal with the front of the house. How to hire people, probably how to fire people, all of those things.
Yep.
So, and that's what we're going to be talking about and how to deal with it as well. So I'm going to probably use you help me out with that as well.
Of course.
If anybody else has had to hire or fire people as well. So we're going to be talking all about that. How to create a good work environment, a safe work environment, a work environment that's not threatening. Back in the days, it was especially in the kitchens, it was a bunch of men, a bunch of guys in there, and we were, and now it's finally getting better. It's going to have you have a lot of women and men and all of that. So where you just got to be very careful with, jokes and people getting offended, all of that. We're going to be talking about HR stuff, how to buy equipment, what equipment you want to buy. We're going to be talking about menus, how to, what are some tools to make items in your menu move faster, how to push items in your menu, how to, understand, just understanding the menu layout in itself. Let's see. At the end of this course, you will understand all the food and beverage opportunities that you can have. We're going to be talking about licensing. We're going to be talking about how to lead. And leading is very important. And how to lead by example, how to lead, how to manage properly, different management styles. We're going to be talking about training programs, successful training programs, how to train your employees. Training is very important, and it's very expensive as well for time and all of that. Training is very, very important. And talking about I'm sorry, I lost my place. On developing the programs that you need to have in your restaurant. like a HACCP program or some sort of sanitation program. And we're going to be also talking about what's going to be happening after COVID. What's going to occur? What's going to happen when when everybody goes back, and what are the changes that are going to be happening, and what are the changes now? Let's see, understanding the demographics of who your customer base is, and who you want as your customer. It's not, you just can't build a restaurant and think people are going to come to you. You need to build it in mind, with the customer in mind. Like, no one honestly, guys, no one cares what you like anymore. When you cook as a professional, no one cares what you like anymore. It's what the customer likes, what the customer wants. It's not what you want anymore. I mean, when I've had people say, oh, it's painful for me to cook a well done steak. Well, so what? Someone's paying you to cook a well done steak, so do it, type of deal. So don't just, so no one cares what you want. So it's one of those things. What's the customer? What does the customer want? And the needs of the customer, and that's what we're going to be learning and getting to understand how to get to that point where where you kind of understand what the customer wants, because you've researched who your clientele is going to be. And that is very important. Let's see, at the end of the course, you will, let's see, analyze, I mean, and these are all just things you're going to learn before. What is fixed cost? What is variable cost? Those types of things. What are, well, hold on, let's see. How to design a menu, how people read a menu. Let's see, is it financially stable to keep your restaurant open? Because we learn all of the ins and outs of all the costs that it takes to keep a business running, and all the fees and all the licensings and all of those things we're going to be talking about. And one of the things that separates some people, you've got a thing called the ACF, the American Culinary Federation. And American Culinary Federation is a kind of a group or for chefs that usually for chefs that basically can be like some non-chefs, but mostly chefs. But it is an organization that helps kind of better yourself. You have, it's a third party that actually, and I'm a certified executive chef through the ACF. So I had to take a written exam and a cooking exam and have to pass a exam to be classified as a certified executive chef. And we're going to be talking about what is a certified executive chef and what is just a executive chef and the differences between those, and all of those things. So we're going to be talking about that as well. In order to run a business, especially a restaurant, you need a business plan. And this is kind of what this class is all about, is kind of writing a business plan, creating a business plan. This class is a two kind of step process of, there are two kind of, you're going to be using the project that you make in this class, and you're going to use it and you're going to bring it to another class, and you're going to finish it out. So this is a kind of a 12-week project that you start on it for this 6 weeks, and then a couple of 6 weeks from now, you'll get back into another class that you're going to finish up the project with. But this is kind of a work in progress. You're going to find out why 3 out of 5 restaurants fail. Does anybody know why restaurants fail? I mean, give me some examples.
Mismanagement of finances.
Yeah, finances is a big one. What else is some reasons why restaurants fail?
Not understanding what their costs are, and not maintaining control of them.
Yeah, not understanding the cost and not containing it or controlling it, for sure. Any other?
Customer service.
Customer service, for sure.
Mhm. Super
For
important.
sure.
Not advertising to the right customer base.
Inconsistency of food.
Advertising and inconsistency of food, for sure. Location. I think location is a
well, sometimes.
Could you say that one more time, Guillermo?
A lot of the times it has to do with the leadership as well.
Leadership, yes, for sure, leadership. Because if you don't have a good leader, the restaurant could just fall apart. And I've seen that for sure. Any other reasons why you
Not
think
knowing or
restaurants
understanding your customer base.
not understanding your customer base, for sure? I heard a female's voice about to say
Me-
something.
I
Oh.
feel like a lack of a central vision, like not really knowing where you want to go, makes it impossible to get there. So if you don't have a vision, then you can't branch out and figure out what are all the things I need to get to this end goal that I have.
I completely agree with you on that, for sure. Any other? I mean, there's probably thousands of different things that could go wrong, that a restaurant could fail, but those are pretty close to the ones that are the basic ones. Location is another one. If you have a bad location, that is another thing that could cause you to fail in the restaurant industry. Um, and even not being prepared. I mean, just think about the restaurants that have closed down just recently, not having maybe a drive ability to deliver food, or ability to you know do all the things that we need to do for COVID, right? So there's a lot of restaurants that are failing right now, and I mean, I get at least 1 or 2 emails a day with restaurants that are for sale, that are closing, that are for sale right now because of COVID. A big restaurant in New Braunfels just went up for sale. I mean, just all sorts. They just are popping up for sale so much, and it's because of mismanagement, mismanagement of money, mismanagement of employees, mismanagement of customers, all sorts of things. I mean, just think about what someone said, dealing with customers. I mean, how many Karens are there now on social media, right? I mean, how many people are there getting caught at a restaurant, or at a place, just complaining and berating people, right? And how you, as an employee, as a manager, how to handle that, because there's one of the places, there was a Costco guy, some guy. Costco was, he was complaining about a mask or whatever else, and the guy from Costco was, I mean, it was awesome. The guy shut him down and told him to leave, but it was such in a good way, but you need to know how to deal with angry and belligerent people, especially nowadays, right now, because everybody's everything's heightened, right? Everything is heightened. Everything is just extra sensitive on anything, right? So everybody is extra sensitive. So you've just got to be very careful with that. And as a, as a, you know, a custom, somebody that's coming into my restaurant, or if you're a wait staff, or if you're, I mean, wait staff gets the brunt of most of it because they're with the customers and all of that. But you're going to be, those are reasons why restaurants fail. So you've just got to be very careful with that, and that's kind of what we're going to be talking about. You know, let's see, making sure we have the right equipment, making sure we have the right equipment for our menu. And that's important. And determining, okay, here's a question. Do you write the menu first, or do you buy the equipment first? What do you do?
Menu
You
first.
write the menu first because you
menu
need to know what
development.
equipment you'll need for the menu.
Exactly.
Menu
Okay.
first.
But the problem is a lot of people do it the opposite way. They do it the opposite way. They build the kitchen, and then they create the menu. And then they go, oh, I need this piece of equipment, or I don't need this piece of equipment. But they didn't look and create the menu, because if you don't need a grill and you don't have anything grilled on your menu, then why buy a grill? Why have a grill, right? If you're not going to fry anything, why have a fryer or whatever else? So you need to make sure you create that menu, and creating the menus is very important. Excuse me. Let's see. That's about it. Any questions on this slide? Anybody? We good? All right. Becoming a chef. All right. Guys, all right. So here, let me unshare this real quick. And so I can just see y'all, because sometimes I can't, when I'm sharing stuff, I can't see y'all too much. All right. So becoming a chef, I knew I wanted to be a chef when I was in 5th grade. So I'm 40, late 40s. I'm 46, I think. No, yeah, 46, I think. I'm 46. So so I knew I wanted to be a chef when I was in 5th grade. I geared my life to do what I do. And I went to culinary school. There are all different ways you can become a chef. Culinary school is the I would say the better way of doing it. There is another way of like what I call the hard knocks, or you just work, and you just kind of work in the industry, and you just kind of without going to culinary school. But being a chef is, I think, to be a chef, you have to be able to be many things. You have to be many things. You have to be part manager, part leader, part, communicator. You have to be, you have to wear so many hats. You have to have so many roles. And that's kind of what we're going to be kind of discussing, is how to deal with all of those roles, how to put on all those hats, and to deal with to be all those different people, to be the chef, to be the manager, to be the support staff, to be, you name it. We're going to be talking about how to be all of those things. And you might, to be a chef, you need to, hold on. You need to inspire. You need to inspire people. You need to be a leader. All of those things. That's what you need to be. You need passion, guys. Passion is going to get you through all the hard times. And guys, the restaurant industry is kind of a hard business. Okay, it is a hard industry because you're on your feet all the time. You're working when everybody else is off. You're doing stuff, but it is a fun, for me, it's a fun thing. I mean, I've cooked for 2 presidents. I've cooked for, celebrities, you name it, whatever else. You can cook for many, many different people, right? But it's one of those things where uh, you it's that passion that's going to get you through the hard times. Okay. Um, let's see. You need to be able to taste your food. You need to taste food. You need to be open to new things, try new things, taste new things. Um, be willing to, experience just new and different things. What else do you think? What do you need to become a chef? What else do you think, y'all? Go ahead and you can tell me. What else do you think you need to become a chef?
Thick skin.
Thick skin, yeah? Yes, because I mean, there are people who are gonna be trying to knock you down. I mean, look at food critics, right? They're there to talk about your food, right? And to talk about your business. So thick skin for sure. What else? What else do you think? Can you say it again?
The ability to teach others your skill set.
Oh, yes. The ability to teach. Because it's all about, because the way we typically train or teach is by, job shadowing or whatever else. And having someone understand how to teach it is very important. What else?
Also, the ability to learn.
Ability to learn, yes. Yeah. I think, could you say it again?
Humility.
Humility, yeah. Yeah. Well, there's some that do not have humility, but for sure. I think you need to, yeah, all of those things and more. I think just being able to, um, and it's just to be called a chef or whatever. You've got line cooks, you have all sorts of things. But hold on a second. I'm going to mute somebody because I'm getting a lot of feedback. Hold on. Sorry. All right. Thank you. So, all of those things are very important to have to become a chef. You need to, be able to stand on your feet. You need to be able to lift some heavy weight. You need to be able to, you know, just learn. You need to learn. You want to learn, and the ability to learn. That's what I want you to do. Knowledge of food. Understand what the food is. Guys, the food has never done you wrong. The food was never angry at you. The food never cheated on you. The food never did anything. Don't treat the food bad. Don't be aggressive with the food. The food never did you wrong, so don't abuse the food. Respect the food. Understand where the food comes from, and that's kind of what we're going to be talking about as well. Where do we get the food? Who do we order it from? All of those things. We're not magicians in the kitchen. We can make so food good, but we can. I mean, if it's a crappy product, it's going to be a crappy product at the end. If it's crappy fish, it's going to be a crappy fish at the end. But I'm going to try to make it as best as possible. But if it's crappy quality, then I can't change the quality of the food, right? So understanding what the quality is, knowing how to source the quality, how to know what it is and what to get, how to work with the vendors, the butchers, the farmers, the you name it. The school deals with a lot of locally sourced product, like all our eggs we get from a local, like locally sourced egg farm or whatever else. We try to get a lot of our product from locally grown or locally raised products around here, and to you know because we know what the quality is. So anyway, so that's another thing to become a chef. Um, let's see, design. You know, what I say when it comes to becoming a chef, find for me, like let's say someone is anybody good in photography? Any good photographers
I used to
in
be
here?
a professional photographer.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, you know what? I mean, like you've got that niche, right? And then you're going to have your culinary side. You could then, you know, turn into a food photographer, right?
Mhm.
You've got the culinary side, you've got the photography side. You can there are so many different things. You don't have to be a person that sits in a kitchen at a grill all day long or at a saute station or at a wherever else. You don't have to be a chef like that. You could be a food photographer. You could be like I knew a guy that I went to culinary school with. He didn't want he his family was in the restaurant industry. He didn't want to be in the restaurant industry, but he went to culinary school. But also, then after culinary school, went to law school and became and now is advertising himself as a restaurant lawyer for anybody that any a chef that has been that is now a lawyer. And I would much rather have a restaurant lawyer that's been a chef and that's been in the industry, that knows and understands. So all of those things, you can be a R&D chef, research and development chef. You could work at, I don't know, Nabisco, at Campbell's. At my culinary school, um, I know Doritos company. And this is a long time ago, but Doritos company came to the school and said, "Hey, let's kind of create a new flavor of Doritos." And so a few people in the culinary school were tasked with trying to come up with different flavors of new Doritos. Well, that's a research and development R&D chef. That's a cool thing to do. But there's so many different ways and different venues and different opportunities you can get into the restaurant industry. So it's just not always, you know, sitting in a hot kitchen or sitting in a kitchen on a grill or sauteing or any of that. It could be different, so many other things, you can do when it comes to the restaurant industry or being a chef or what have you. You can work at a uh, if you want to work a Monday through Friday job, you know, you could work a Monday through Friday job at a retirement house, a retirement community. Um, uh, you know, anything like that. I mean, I was a corporate chef for a company that made, that was made computer parts. I was a Japanese company, and I did strict Japanese food every day and sushi every day. And we had we had a clean room, multiple units. So I mean, there are so many different venues and different things you can do. And I just don't want you to think that you're gonna you if you don't want to be a chef, you don't have to work in the kitchen. I mean, if you don't want to be a kitchen chef, you don't have to work in the kitchen. You can do other things. There are many different things you can do. Food sales, you name it. Know how to build a team. Okay, learning how to build a team is very important. Has anybody worked at a job, and it could be any job, but it was not a good team? Like the team, just like your group or the employees just worked against each other. It was not really a good environment. It was kind of I would say, a toxic environment. You know, I mean, they're
The Army.
the Army.
Yeah, I was about to say all the veterans in class have definitely had at least one unit where everyone was turning on each other.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for sure. And you've got to understand how to manage that, right? How to turn that around and how to build a team and how to build a team that is successful team. Now, you know, the military does it in a way of they break you down, they beat you down, right? They break you basically, and that's called basic training, right? They try to break you down during basic training, and then they build you up the way they want you to be built, right? Well, here I don't want to break anybody down. I don't want to destroy my employees, but I do need to build a good team, and that is what are some things that you would consider if you had a good team? What are some things that you would want to see or you would need to see if you have a good team? Like communication is one, right?
Attitude.
Attitude,
Teamwork.
teamwork, and
A
else?
will to take care of others.
A willing to take care of others or to help, for sure.
A high level of technical ability.
Having technical ability, for sure. You know, I think when you are building a team, you know, communication, humility, being able to talk to somebody honestly, and I think communication is probably the most important thing on training and having a good team is communication. You know, I'm going to use let's say my wife. You know, my wife and I, we've been married 20, I think, coming up on 24. I think 24 years. We're coming up on 24 years, and you know, when you build a team, you know, like I've been with my wife for so long, I should be able to read her mind, right? And most of the time, I I read her mind, or I can't. I don't know what she's thinking or whatever else. So I need to always ask, right? And you know, when you're building a team, communication is the key. Marriages fail. Why? Why do marriages fail? Lack of communication and money, usually, right? And lack of communication is the most important thing. And when you're building a team, communicating to your team is very important. And knowing how to communicate without belittling, without degrading, without, I mean, I've been communicated and I've been before or building a team or trying to build a team, and people I was at a job and someone was building a team and they were like belittling and degrading. That's not building a team. That's destroying a team, right? You're not going to build anything by calling people lazy or losers or any of that sort of stuff. You're going to build a good team by building people up and trying to make them themselves the best. And that is something we're going to be talking about. Becoming a leader, guys, anybody can get that manager title. Anybody can get that chef's title or executive chef's title. Anybody can get it. But you need to be a good leader to keep that job and to be able to keep it and to be successful at that job. You know, for being successful in any job, you need to be able to communicate. You need to be able to be a good team leader. And usually team leaders don't get any praise. Guys, as an executive chef or and I'm training you to become managers, bosses, executive chefs. So if that's kind of what I want you to be, is executive chef, a manager, all of that, but you can always, or that's what I want you to be, but it is very important to learn how to lead, because you will never, ever have a good kitchen or a good crew or a good team without being able to lead them the right way. Okay. And that's it. I mean, the restaurant will fail if you do not lead. The passion is not about power. It's about what? What does that say? It's about what?
Responsibility.
Responsibility. Okay. The passion is not about the power. It's about the responsibility. Guys, the power, you know, I mean, yeah, you're the boss, you're the whatever, but you know, it's the responsibility. You're responsible for everybody in that kitchen. You're responsible for everybody's well-being in that kitchen, their health, their security, their safety, you name it. And it is a big responsibility. And that's something that, you know, we're going to be learning as well. Now, all right, now I don't know if you've ever, and this was a guy, Rocco Dispira. He was a chef. He had a TV show, and if you ever saw, or it was, I don't know, maybe I would say in the 90s, maybe 2000s, maybe I can't even remember anymore. But it was on TV. It was, this guy was able to get some investment firm hired him, and he was going to run a restaurant on TV. And he had just gotten out of culinary school at CIA, and you know, they gave him all of this, and he failed. It was the biggest you know, failure on TV, you know, in the restaurant industry, when it came out, and it was all because of just mismanagement, not understanding how to manage people, not understanding how to run a restaurant, not understanding how to deal with cost, you name it. So, but Raka, we're going to be learning from other people's mistakes, and that is very important as well. You know, by learning by other people's mistakes, that's what we're going to be kind of dealing with. And I'll show a few videos of snippets with him in it, of having him dealing with employees, or also I might do a little like Gordon Ramsay, a couple of dealing with, you know, how people, you know, are dealing with employees. Like there was a Kitchen Nightmares, that a pastry place that I'm going to talk, you know, show a video about, of how not to deal with customers and all of those things. But understanding the profit and loss, and understanding how to deal with, you know, the cost in your staff, and retention. And retention is very important, because if you don't retain your employees, then we have what we call a turnover. And if we have too much turnover, then that could, my restaurant quality will go down. The food and the training and all of that will go down. So retention is very important. And this was kind of his little story of of Rocco's. He had his mother working for him, and he would treat his mother horribly, saying, you know, in all of that. But this is, if you ever want to watch a show on how not to run a business, watch or get on and watch the show that Rocco did. That's how not to run a business. Let's see. And this was his mom, his staff did not know how, you know, the staff did not know how to cook and organize, and just, it was a cluster. It was a horrible situation. And there was no leadership. There was no nothing. But the reason why I bring this up is this guy was handed in a silver platter a restaurant, on a silver platter, a restaurant that and he could have had all the fame, but he blew it because he was not a good manager. He was not a good leader, and he was not doing what he should have been doing, and that's running the restaurant, not trying to be a celebrity at that point. Let's see. What do you think? Or wait, hold on. Sorry. Hold on, my Zoom just shut down for a sec. Let me pull it back up. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
Yeah, we hear you, sir.
Oh, yeah, hold on. I think it just internet. Okay. My apologies. My Zoom just went down for 1 sec. All right. So we want our business to be successful, plain and simple, right? Plain and simple. What do we need to do? And that's what we're going to be learning, is what do we need to do to make our business successful? Plain and simple. And understand why restaurants fail. And, and those are the things that are going to make you successful in the restaurant industry. And because if not, you're going to be the statistic. You're going to be one of those restaurants that fail. And I don't ever want you to be one of those. So this is why this class is so important. All right. Let's see. There's a lot of me talking. I'm going to stop and I'm going to ask y'all a few questions. Who has worked in the restaurant industry? Raise your hand right now. All right. So restaurant industry right now. All right. So quite a few of y'all. That's awesome. I had a group that was not in the restaurant industry. Quite a few of them last block. So that's really nice. So what is some things that in your restaurant or in your job, what are some things that your manager or a good team leader does? In your job right now, if you've had a job or right now, or even in old jobs, any of the jobs, what are some things that a leader does, or your boss, what I would call your boss or your team leader does to foster a good work environment? What do they do to foster a good work environment?
I think
from the front.
Melissa, go.
What did he say? I didn't understand what
Go
he
ahead.
said.
Oh, I
was
just want to
saying
know.
I was saying that they lead from the front, meaning like they won't tell their crew members to do something that they won't do. So they're not just
Yeah, I
passing
was gonna
orders
say
all
the
the
same
time.
thing.
Yeah, but they also like get their hands dirty so their crew members know, hey, they'll do this, so I'm gonna do it as well. And
Yeah,
also
everything
making
is
sure
everybody's
that
job.
right.
Yeah.
And also
Mhm.
making sure that, people don't get in the position where they're like, well, you make me do this, but you don't make that person do that, because they understand that you
Yeah.
play everyone to their strengths. And at
Mhm.
times also play them to their weaknesses so that they can get better in different aspects.
Yeah, and I think being willing to coach people rather than just let them fail is super important, and communicating with them and being there for them, and like setting your ego aside and learning how to talk to them, and creating trust with your staff.
Could you say that? Trust is very important.
Incredibly important.
Yeah. If you don't trust, and that's kind of what I was trying to find, is that trust. If you don't trust the people above you, right? You don't, you're not, the business is not going to run successfully. If there is not trust, if there is not kind of that also give and take, also leading, but also letting people lead themselves. And if there's not a lot of give and take, I think for sure that is very, very important as a manager.
Well, I think it's like the trickle down effect. So if you are a good leader, then your staff trusts you, then the guests will trust the staff, and then the guests will keep coming.
I completely agree. I completely agree with you. And now, has anybody ever had a manager that was a bad management or bad manager? What happened when was the environment? What was the environment like?
I
Anybody?
had a
You can-
micromanager, and what he would do is, I'd come into work, I'd have X amount of tasks I want to knock out before I leave for the day. And then he'd have a conference call, and then he'd add a bunch of tasks to that. And then he'd be calling every manager every, 2 hours. And it was just completely counterproductive. One, he's always screaming on the phone for absolutely no reason. And then two, like the daily tasks were just shifting so much, and he was taking your attention so much that you couldn't really get anything done.
Yeah.
I also think not being available whenever the staff needs you.
Not being available for sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Availability is very important, and accessibility, being accessible to people, and having at least that, being around and making sure that you go communicate to all your employees. Because if you don't talk to your employees, then there is that standoffishness, and if you don't communicate. So, but bad people management, that who's had to deal with bad people management? I mean, we've all had to deal with that, right? Unlike, I mean, you need to have a manager that can walk a mile in their shoes, or that can understand, that can kind of deal with people. Granted, we're in the back of the house, what I call back of the house, but you still have to be able to be a people person. You have to sell yourself. It's selling yourself, selling your food, selling everything else. And if you're a bad manager, you can't deal with that. You can't, you can't deal with it. You can't. A bad manager is one of those that is going to make me want to leave a business very, very quickly, or leave that restaurant very quickly, for sure. Let's see. Best managers. The best managers are the ones who work their way up the chain. Yeah. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Yes, I would say that is correct because they understand the where, the people at the very beginning that start at the beginning, they kind of understand what needs to happen, what needs to, what their job entails. So I should be able to know every single job at that kitchen, in the kitchen. I need to be able to work as a manager. I need to be able to work the saute station. I need to be able to work the fry station. I need to be able to work the saucier station. I need to be able to work all the stations. Why? Because because I need to train my employees. And if I didn't work those stations, or if I hadn't had that knowledge, then I couldn't train my employees as much as I should, as well as I should. So, having someone work up the chain, but also there's a downside of hiring a manager within. What's a downside of hiring a manager within? Anybody?
Conflict of interest.
There you go. Like they were peers, right? They were peers at one point, right? Y'all were working peers, and then, one person goes, it could be a conflict of interest. Could be, that maybe that person has no respect. No one has respect for that person as well. So there's could be a lot of things, but bad management is kind of one of those things you've got to be very careful. And we're going to be going over this. And today is just basically an overview of kind of going over of everything that we're going to be talking about today for the next 6 weeks. We're going to be dealing with lack of accounting skills. I mean, if you don't know how to account for your profit and loss, you have no idea what you're getting yourself into. You could be losing money. Honestly, true story. This was about in months now, kind of mesh, and I'm sorry, but it was like in March. It was right before kind of COVID happened. I had a class, and I was teaching a class, and a student had a restaurant. They owned a restaurant, and that girl was in my class, and so we were kind of talking about costing out recipes, and she was like, "I've never costed out our recipes at our restaurant," and I was like, "So how did you get the price for the item? Where did you come up with the price?" Well, I came up with the price. She said she came up with the price by going and looking around at her competition and priced her product the same amount, the price as what the competition was. Well, I said, well, did you cost out your food? Did you actually like weigh out your hamburger meat, or cost out how much it really costs to make? And she was like, no. So when we started doing this menu project that you're going to be doing, I was like, cost out your menu, let's use your menu of your restaurant. And there was at least 5 items on her menu that every time she and her husband sold those 5 items, they at least lost $5 or more. Yeah. And it was because they were using the hamburger meat was a higher quality hamburger meat than their competition. So they spent a lot more money on the meat. They were using like Kobe or Wagyu beef, or Kobe ground beef, and that was very expensive, and they were losing up to $5 on certain items, and it was and it's amazing, and they didn't know it. Every time they would sell a steak, the steak dish, they would lose $1.50. Every time they would sell it, they thought they were making money. They were losing money. It's because they didn't cost out their food, and they didn't, and they were trying to just make up numbers. And those are the things you can't do. Guys, it is 8 o'clock right now. Let's take another, let's take a 10-minute break. Are we good with the 10-minute break? 8:10? Or let's say 8:11. We'll go 8:11 since it's 8:01 right now. Cool.
And Chef.
Yes.
It's Kyle Fitzpatrick. I just got the link.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah,
just gotta work.
I think I saw you. I think you posted something, didn't you, on the chat?
I responded